because he is friends with that. He's really good friends with that owner that brought him out that day as well too. So you guys got to understand, you guys can meet some of your favorite people at the racetrack because you can be quiet and cool and calm up at the racetrack, bro, because they ain't gonna let nobody run up on you and be, hey, it's so and so. No, they will remove you from the track right then and there. They don't play that game. You know what I mean? It's a money thing when you at the racetrack, y'all. That's what I got to tell y'all. It ain't about fans and fun. It's not. Really, it's not. You know, a better is not worried about Brett Favre sitting over there with the four horse. No, he does not care. You know what I mean? That man is headed to the dungeon. All right, let's go ahead and jump into our next game, which is going to be the Saints and the Lions. Saints coming in here 5-6, Lions 8-3. You know what? The Saints are going through a lot. It's kind of a disaster zone in New Orleans right now. You know, they don't. I think it's more of the fans who are starting things, but you can tell by body language that Derek Carr only has 50% of that locker room that really is rocking with him. And you know why? Because Jameis Winston is kind of what I would say an ish starter. You know what I mean? He's playing the game of, oh, I'm going to be this guy's friend, and then I'm going to go talk bad about this guy to this guy. You know what I mean? I caught it this weekend. And I think that he's playing the middle way too much. And I keep telling everybody, I feel Taysom Hill's the best option that you have at the backup, not Jameis Winston. Jameis Winston had an opportunity to prove if he was the quarterback, and he it didn't work. It didn't happen. He's been told by Dennis Allen that you're a backup. And I think that the fan base and people that really love Jameis Winston need to just get over it. The coach has already pretty much told us that he's a backup at this point of his career. He's not, you can't trust the guy to be, you know, winning you games. All you're going to get out of Jameis Winston is a 3-3 record. And you know what happens with a 3-3 record? You're going to wind up 8-9. So, you know, you're just stuck with Derek Carr because Derek Carr knows how to be a company man. That's what they don't understand about Derek Carr. Derek Carr is a company quarterback. He knows how to smooth well with the owner. He knows how to smooth well with the head coach. And that's how he's able to keep his position and keep his spot. He did the same thing with the Raiders for a decade. But the Raiders were so quarterback needy that he was able to get away with it. And the writing's on the wall. It took me to realize this when he went to New Orleans. And Jeff can attest to this. I was the biggest Derek Carr supporter when he was with the Raiders. But now when I see exactly what he's doing with the Saints, this is a terrible fit. It is. Everybody said Saints, when it should have been Jets. Jets were a much better fit for a Derek Carr, in my opinion. Because if you put him on the Jets, he gets Garrett Wilson, who's the equivalent of having Devontae Adams. And then he gets other speedsters as well, too. He got Brees Hall, and then he would have had a good running game with Dalvin Cook. And then you have a coach that's a little bit more aggressive in a sense, a little bit more hands-on in a sense. Dennis Allen is a robot. And, you know, that's what's wrong with the NFL. We have 30% of this league being coached by robots right now. Guys that have no business being head coaches. Dennis Allen already failed in Oakland. So why would you have him in New Orleans taking over this team? He doesn't know how to win in this league. You know what I mean? I know they look at second chances and say, oh, man, this guy, you put him with a better roster in a better situation. No, Jeff, no. You just know. You're a defensive coordinator for a reason, bud. You know what I mean? And you look at this Lions team, I feel like the Lions is getting cute, bro. I'm gonna be dead honest with you, Jeff. I feel like they're getting cute. They starting to read the press clippings too much, and they got to get humbled a little bit more. I think a losing streak is in the fold right now because they front running. You have to understand that nobody can catch them in the North. That's out. That's out because they're gonna beat everybody in the North, literally, pretty much. They're gonna have a 5-1 record at best for the division, so you know that's happening. You know what I mean? You know that's going to happen. The Packers lost, understood. 3 days of rest. Jordan Love is now playing his best football in the NFL, and he cooked you. It happens. It happens. But this game right here is going to be a game where they're going to be overbet, Jeff, and I really see that happening because they're stewing up this narrative in New Orleans. And I know at the end of the day, this is going to be a motivational point for this team because they can still win their division. They're 5-6, but they're still in a good spot because they're not worried about, they know that they can't make the playoffs as one of the wild cards. They got to make the playoffs as the division champion. And they still have another game with Atlanta. They still have another game with Carolina, and they still got another game with Tampa Bay. So that's really where their thinking is at this point. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to actually go ahead and go out on a limb, and I'm going to take the Lions plus 165 money line to go ahead and I'm sorry, Saints money line plus 165 to go ahead and win this game at the Superdome in convincing fashion. And actually, it's not going to be that close of a game, Jeff. I feel like this is going to be the wake-up call for the beloved Detroit Lions. You go ahead, sir. You have the stage.
You know, the Thursday game was an eye-opener to me because the thought process was, how is the Packers going to slow down Aiden Hutchinson? How are they going to give Jordan Love some time? Yet, if as much as everyone wants to say Goff was the problem on last Thursday on Thanksgiving versus the Packers, that wasn't the problem. It was his offensive line. The Packers just crushed Goff. Goff had no time to throw the ball. So now they had a full 10 days to go over that loss. They saw the Vikings lose last night. Interesting here. My true number was 3 with a 44.5. Vegas had this one penciled in at that 24-20 number. It is now currently 4 with a 46 or 45.5. Here's the problem on the Saints side. Michael Thomas on the IR. Chris Olave most likely will not play. Insert A.T. Perry. Insert whoever else at wide receiver. Also, Juwan Johnson banged up. So offensively, it's going to be the Kamara show. It will be the Taysom Hill show, the Derek Carr. But who's Derek Carr going to throw to? On the flip side, this is I don't want to say a get well spot for the Lions, but it is. Do you want to go down the road with 2 losses in a row, as now you would then go to 8-4, or do you want to, make a claim here? Let's get to 9-3 and let's move on. I think Dan Campbell and the Lions will be rejuvenated. Expect a big dose of St. Brown, Gibbs, Montgomery. Look for their defense to outshine the Saints. I got the Lions -4. I got this in that 24-13, 24-17 realm, Pops.
All right. That sounds good to me, brother. But you already know. You already know I respect that with 100%. And you know what? To just piggyback off of your early number, my early number was 1.5 to the Saints. And in our previews with the Titans, it was 2.5 to the Titans. That's how I feel that it's a home team type of week. You know what I mean? And I think that home teams need to be a little bit more favored because we're now into the point where it's the holiday tickets that are being given to fans, and you don't get the same usual season ticket holders at each game. You got people that are yelling and screaming and really enjoying themselves at the game, regardless of your record. So that's how I'm looking at it. I think the Saints will be boosted by the crowd. That's the only reason why I'm putting them on for this week, and it's a good